Welcome to everybody who's participating in the event today. Welcome, and a warm welcome to Cory and Rosey, who are going to be participating in this panel. We're going to be focusing on what being an ambassador means to us. And now I've been an ambassador for just under a year now, but Rosey and Cory have recently joined the team. So I'll stop talking about myself. And Rosey and Cory, would you like to introduce yourselves? And we'll start with you, Rosey. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm Rosey. I'm a talent acquisition specialist at Firesprite. I've been in the games industry for about 3 years-ish, at various places doing recruitment. Currently in Leamington Spa, which there might be a few other people here from Leamington. There's a lot of games people here, but I'm originally from Yorkshire. I saw a couple of people say they were up in Leeds, so hello to all of those people. Yeah, that's me.
Now, Cory, you're actually joining us from across the pond, aren't you? And it is an unpleasant time of the morning for you.
Yes, I'm not a morning person, so it's rough. I did see one person in the opening that said they were also from Florida, so we're in this together. Yeah, so my name is Cory Lamontagne. I'm an engineering manager with electronic arts at the Tiburon studio in Florida. I've been in the games industry it's been a decade now. And an engineer for 15 years. Most of it has been as an individual contributor. But recently I moved on to manage a team of UI developers. Mm-hmm. Super excited to be here, by the way.
So I didn't actually say what I do. So I'm a community manager and I work at Dovetail Games. And the ambassador program is actually part of the reason I ended up getting my job. Because when I volunteered to become an ambassador, I met Gemma, and Gemma mentioned that Dovetail were looking for a community manager, and well, the rest is history. So being an ambassador for me has been both beneficial to getting into the industry, but I found that since being an ambassador, I've built loads of confidence. I've met some amazing people in the industry, and it's been all in all pretty wonderful. But what about you guys? What's it been like for you so far? Because obviously you're very new to the ambassador program. So you're going to have a very different experience to what I've had. And what, I guess, are your aspirations for being ambassadors? Who would like to start?
I'll go first, because this, to be honest, is my first introduction to being an ambassador, which is quite a scary introduction to it. But all super positive so far. And I think it reflects why I wanted to be an ambassador, which is for that community side of things and the network. Because obviously you can still work to that same goal and not be part of Women in Games, but being able to sort of point to that literally international. I think Gemma just said there's 52 countries, 400 people, something like that. Like, that's huge. So to be able to point to that network of people all working to that same goal, I think is really cool. And then to be able to have an event like today where we celebrate that community and I get to meet all these 400 people, I think that's really exciting. So yeah, this is it for me so far. I've not been able to do much else because of lockdown and everything. So it's a great introduction for me. I don't know about you, Cory, because we joined at the same time, I think we were just saying. So
we did. I agree. I think, the networking aspect and the supportive aspect is one of the things I'm looking forward to the most, getting to meet a lot of people in one place under one group that are dedicated to the same effort. It's something that I'm passionate about and work a great deal with my company to make changes throughout our studio, our organization, and to be part of a collective and have both the support of the group to be able to leverage for networking and opportunities, but also to kind of be able to leverage my experiences to bring that to the group. Super exciting.
Yeah, the confidence building side of it as well, it can be incredible. Like I said, I just find that everybody has been so supportive. At no point has anybody questioned why I was made an ambassador. Nobody's questioned how somebody so new to the industry was given the ambassadorship. Everybody's just like, yay, one more person in the club. So what are you hoping to achieve while you're ambassadors? Is there anything in particular that you're hoping to focus on, or are you still a bit, I haven't decided what I'm going to do as an ambassador, or You're just going to take a look around and see what you like the thought of doing? What are your plans?
A little bit of all those things, I think.
Yeah.
I'm in recruitment, so I think I'm quite well placed to actually like make a difference, hopefully, in the company that I'm in, but also something like today to learn how other companies are doing that and then be able to sort of report back and try and make that work for us as well, I think is really good. But yeah, like you said, a little bit of everything, sort of see what happens, explore all the options, I think.
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely here to network with other people, and it's kind of fortuitous that Rosey and I are here together because one of my passions in this industry is hiring. So as an engineering manager and as an engineer, I have a lot of experience on both sides of the process. And I've worked with TAs and, we have Next Gen Talent who works exclusively with college students, and understanding the process, and it's a terrifying process in the games industry, and kind of removing the veil and perfecting that process and helping people prepare for that process is a passion of mine. So I'm hoping to get involved in that aspect and maybe host some events. Maybe you can be involved with me, Rosey.
Maybe.
Yeah, the recruiting side of things I've found to be particularly daunting experience. I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else, but obviously for me, I found it was very sort of closed club, the games industry, and it's once you're in, but trying to get that first step into the industry can be quite challenging. And that's where the ambassadorship has really helped me, and it's given me that step. But the pair of you have been in the industry for quite a while now. What made you decide to become ambassadors at this point in your career?
I've just started a new job about 3 months ago, and it just sort of worked out that this is something that I'm going to be focusing on in that role. And it sort of made sense to, well, why not tap into this like wealth of knowledge and experience and learn from other people when we try and then implement those things in my new studio. So that's the main reason. I've been meaning to join up for a long time. And that's kind of been the one thing that's pushed me and made me actually like take that leap and do it. So yeah, that's for me.
Honestly, I wasn't aware of the Women in Games organization for any of my career. It's only recently I became aware and joined the Discord and started talking with some people and grown interest from that. So the organization itself is pretty new to me, so I'm excited.
I'm glad the Discord's been valuable because I actually made that. So that is nice to hear. Let's see, trying to think of what else we can discuss really. Obviously, Cory, you're you're in a different country. And you potentially have different problems getting women into games this differently to the way we do, or would you say it's very similar? Would you say that people across the pond face the same struggles that we would over here in the UK, or what would you say is the working culture like for you compared to over here?
I think it's probably the same all over. Listening to what people are saying, when you go to the Discord and hear people talking about what their experiences are on Twitter, across social media. I think it's just this air of not belonging that's pervasive throughout the industry, right? And we need to change that, and we need not only to empower women to speak up for themselves, but empower allies to also be advocates. And I think we need to do that all over the place. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do within my organization, outside of my organization, is get allies and advocates to understand what it means to be so. So I think we all face the same problem, and I think it makes it easier for us to work together to solve the problem because we have similar experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Don't forget, if there is anybody in the chat that has any questions they'd like for Cory and Rosey, or even myself, please do ask them. And I guess trying to think of what else we can discuss. Is there anything you'd like to discuss with regards to your ambassadorship that perhaps we haven't touched on yet? Anything you want to share? Anything interesting Basically, what's your onboarding been like as well? How's it felt? Because you are still very new to it. Has it been as welcoming for you as it was for me? Yeah, I'll answer that one first, actually, and then we'll think of more.
Sounds good.
I think having this event as the first introduction has been really good, because it's been a chance to see how organized everything is behind the scenes. There's been so much communication with me, at least, for getting this set up and making sure that I'm comfortable and I know exactly what's happening. And it sort of proves that this is a legitimate organization. It's not just a group of people who get together and throw some ideas around. It's no, this is actually a proper network that's working to something. And I think that's been a really good introduction to sort of prove that to me. I've had the evidence of it, because I've had messages this morning and emails, and we've got a LinkedIn group chat, and it just shows that organization is there, the backbone of support is there for anything that you do want to do as an ambassador, which I think is really helpful.
I was going to wait for you to answer, Natalie.
Yeah, no, for me, the whole thing has actually been, since I started, I've loved being an ambassador. I must say I did have an awful case of imposter syndrome when I first started. I was like, why have they allowed me to be an ambassador? Because I was an ambassador before I'd even joined the industry. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh no, have they made a mistake letting me in? And I was supposed to be, I've been building this Discord, and I was like, why have they given me this responsibility? But the whole way through it, everybody I've met has just been like, great job. You do it. You're perfect for the job. You're doing it well. There's been so much support from everyone. Everyone's like, how can we help you? Is there anything you need from us? At no point is there any doubt that that I wouldn't belong here.
Yeah, which it definitely feels wonderful. Like a level playing field. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the industry for. Yeah. Everyone's contribution is really valued, which I think is really good. And yeah, you're acknowledged even if you aren't in the industry yet, or if you've been in the industry for a decade, like Cory. It doesn't matter. Everyone's welcome, which I think is really nice.
There's this huge atmosphere, I find, of if somebody's trying to get into the industry, everybody remembers their first journey into the industry, and it's like, right, well, I remember I struggled with it. Let's see if we can make your path a bit easier. And I find that definitely helps. And then with the ambassadorship on top of that, it's that lovely support network. Everybody's just ready to help. But what about you, Cory? Has your onboarding been?
I think the onboarding has been great. Everybody's been, incredibly nice, and there's a lot of fantastic people here. It was a little daunting at first. It was like, welcome, that Rosey can probably agree. Welcome to being an ambassador. Hey, by the way, there's this panel that we'd like you to participate in. So there's that air of inclusion and wanting to get people involved, I think, is really nice and exciting.
And Emma Cowling has actually touched on something quite interesting in the chat. They've said, I'm slowly working out how I can add value and help. Now, that was something I struggled with to begin with when I was first made an ambassador. It was sort of, what can I do to help women in games? What can I do to make myself useful? What can I do to be of value? My advice is, don't put too much pressure on yourself. That was a mistake I made when I first started. I was like, I need to prove myself. I need to prove that I'm worthy of being an ambassador. And give it time, and you'll find your feet, and you'll find what you can do to help. And that was for me anyway. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and it's not just what we can add to the community, but it's what we can get out of it, I think, as well. So even if you're not sure how you can help, it's how can we help you, I suppose. Yeah, that came out really wrong, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I agree with Emma. It's trying to jump into the organization and be like, now I need to do all of the things. I need to find this space. That's a good way to feel like you're not doing enough and to kind of burn yourself out. Like for me, it's just getting involved with the people, participating in conversations, meeting people, learning from people, listening, and then finding where that space is that maybe you can fit into after the fact. And if it doesn't present itself immediately, continue, participating in conversations and joining events and whatnot. It'll eventually show itself.
Yeah, exactly. The networking side of it is incredibly useful, and it's just starting conversations with people, and before you know it, you'll find what you want to do to help. If you're being an ambassador, you'll find your feet. and then so Dan's son was saying the burnout is real, running all the events. I can imagine it is, especially if you are an ambassador as well, because you've got that on top of your workload potentially, and then you want to attend the events. I'm not going to be able to attend everything today, right? And I felt so guilty that I wasn't going to be able to attend everything. And in hindsight, it's a bit unrealistic to expect myself to be here all day. But how about you? Do you ever, Cory, Rosey, do you ever suffer with the burnout or an unrealistic workload that perhaps you've put on yourself, or you've just got full stop?
Definitely. I think everyone does. I think it'd be unrealistic to say otherwise. And I think probably events like this are really useful to see that it's not just you, and maybe get tips from other people on how to deal with that and take a step back and not feel the guilt that you've just mentioned, because that's definitely real as well, to feel guilty about it.
I'm seeing some people saying as well, like they want to find ideas for how they can contribute as an ambassador. Use if you are in the Discord, I highly recommend using the ambassador chat in there. Talk to other ambassadors, throw out ideas together, and if you need any support from other ambassadors, somebody will be there to help you get something organized.
Yeah, I agree. Just reach out. Like I said, hiring is my passion, and knowing that Rosey is in TA, like immediately I'm like, we need to get together and do something. We need to host an event or something related to hiring, getting into the industry. Just meeting people will bring ideas to the front.
Yeah, that actually, Lucy's put some questions in the chat, which is, do you want to host events? Is that something you can see yourself doing? Because obviously you're part of a panel this year. Can you see yourself hosting something going forward?
Yes.
I think
so. Certainly.
It's difficult at the minute as well, isn't it? Because I'd love to host an in-person networking event, but who knows when that can happen. So it's something to look forward to, I suppose.
That means I need to find a plane ticket then.
Yeah.
So far away.
It does. It's quite the commute otherwise. And what plans have you got for being a part of Women in Games over the next year? If you don't have any yet, that's also fine.
Yeah, nothing concrete, but yeah, like I said, hosting some sort of like coffee networking morning would be, I think, really good. The only question there is where. Everything that we do is remote in my work, so it becomes quite tricky to then figure out where that base would be. But I think that'd be really interesting to host something and actually get to see people after not seeing anyone for 18 months or whatever it is now. So
yeah, in-person events is something I'm definitely looking forward to, because my whole journey in the games industry has been remote. I haven't met anyone in person, so I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I imagine other people are as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely brought on a lot of people over the last 18 months that I've never met personally, never been to the studio. Like everything is done remote. It's going to be really weird. I actually had to return to the office the other day to pick up some things, and I saw somebody I recognized for the first time in 18 months. I took quarantine very seriously. I'm in my little bubble. And I saw somebody I recognized and knew and work with day to day, and it was like panic. I was like, hi, and just kept going. Like I didn't know how to interact with people.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, isn't it? Everybody meeting each other again and socializing and being a bit normal.
I think it's going to be amazing for graduates and recent people who've joined the industry to go into a studio and actually like experience that. I think that's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And we actually, I think some students become ambassadors, people who aren't in the industry become ambassadors, and that's something I actually really love about the ambassador program. It gives people that sort of first step into the industry. It gives them that opportunity to meet people that they might need to meet once they've graduated and things.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Apparently Adam said my students have missed studio visits so much. Yeah, I can imagine they have. So is there any questions from anyone in the chat? Is there anything yourself, Cory, Rosey, you'd like to touch on? I think we are running close towards the end of this session. No.
Nothing comes to mind. I will say, because you said you wanted to join coffee chats, Rosey, and I know that there is a coffee chat that happens on the Discord at least. For me, it's a little early, so I don't get to join it. So I'm thinking of maybe trying to spin up a coffee chat that's conducive to us over here on the other side of the pond, maybe. Yeah, but that's something I'm interested in, is just meeting people and face-to-faces and chatting and throwing ideas around.
Yeah. I definitely want to participate in more face-to-face stuff. Yeah. And I think that's something I might set myself as a bit of a target for this year as an ambassador. Maybe try and organise a few more. Hi, Lucy.
Hello,
Hi,
Lucy.
I thought I'd come and join you just for the very end.
Yeah, go for it. Got any questions for us that perhaps we haven't touched on?
No, do you know what, you guys have, it's been really, really interesting, and I think that you know what, like, everyone's journey into is fascinating, and being part of the Women in Games sort of network. And it's so lovely also to have like people that are just starting it, as well as like Nat, who has jumped in full force, both feet into the Discord and everything else. And I mean, I know that people really love the Discord. It's such a great side, and it's lovely to have events like this and showcase what you guys are doing and talk about it, because of what a lovely community spirit we've got. But I think, you know, definitely, Cory, to have some more coffee mornings that are North American time zone would be amazing. So definitely set those up, please, and be part of it all. And, you know, it's daunting. So I'm just glad to have people that are talking about it and everything else.